Picture this. You're 3 months in. Things feel good. She's engaged, responsive, interested. So you do what every relationship expert tells you to do. You increase investment. More texts, more availability, more planning, more effort, more emotion, more everything. 2 weeks later, she's pulling back, texting less, seeming distant. You're confused. I gave her more. Isn't that what women want? More attention, more care, more investment. The relationship books said increase effort when things are good. Build momentum. Show her you're serious. But here's what actually happened. You flooded the market, oversupplied, and her demand crashed. This is why her attraction dies faster than you realize. Not slowly over months like you think. Fast, violently, in days sometimes. Because you don't understand the economics of attraction. You think it works like normal economics, where more supply equals more value. It doesn't. Attraction economics are inverted. The more you supply, the less she demands. And when demand crashes, attraction dies. Not gradually, rapidly. What if I told you that attraction operates on scarcity economics, and every time you increase availability, you're actively killing her interest? That there's a specific economic mechanism that causes attraction to die exponentially faster the harder you try? That you're not failing because you're doing something wrong. You're failing because you're doing exactly what kills demand. Millions of men are experiencing this right now. They increase investment, thinking it will increase attraction. Instead, attraction crashes within weeks. They can't figure out why. I'm doing everything right. Giving her everything she says she wants. More time, more attention, more emotion, more commitment signals. And the more they give, the faster she loses interest. They think they need to give more. The problem is they're already giving too much. I've watched this economic crash destroy attraction across more time than you can imagine. Same market dynamics, same oversupply, same demand death. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why her attraction dies faster than you realize, using economic principles that make the mechanism undeniable, and why the moment you increase supply is the moment you accelerate your own death. But understand this. What you're about to learn will make you question everything you've been taught about how to maintain attraction. This is economic analysis. Pay very close attention. Here's what mortals don't understand about attraction economics. Attraction isn't linear. It's not more input equals more output. It's inverse. It operates on scarcity principles. The scarcer you are, the more valuable you become. The more available you are, the less valuable you become. And value determines demand, and demand determines attraction. When your value crushes because you oversupplied, her attraction doesn't decline slowly. It dies rapidly. Because market crashes aren't gradual. They're violent. This isn't opinion. This is economic observation. I've watched thousands of men flood the market and crash demand. Same oversupply, same death speed, same confusion about why. You see, mortals believe that giving more creates more value. That availability signals interest, which creates reciprocal interest. That investment breeds investment. These would be correct in normal market economics. But attraction doesn't follow normal economics. It follows inverse scarcity economics, where abundance kills value, and value death kills demand, and demand death kills attraction. Let me show you the economic mechanism. Supply and demand. Basic economics. When supply is low and demand is high, value is high. When supply increases, value decreases. When supply floods the market, value crashes. This applies to everything: commodities, currency, labor, and attraction. You are the supply. Your time, your attention, your availability, your effort, your emotion, your validation. These are the commodities you're offering in the attraction marketplace. She is demand, her interest, Her pursuit, her investment, her desire. This is what she's offering in exchange for your commodities. In the beginning, your supply is low. You're not constantly available. You have your own life, your own schedule, your own priorities. You respond when you can, not immediately. You see her when it works for you, not whenever she wants. You give attention when you feel like it, not on demand. Low supply, high scarcity. Her demand is high. She's pursuing, investing, wondering about you, wanting more access, trying to secure more of your time. This is the attraction phase. Low supply, high demand, high value. Then you make the fatal economic error. You increase supply. You become more available, more responsive, more accommodating, more giving. You think you're being a good partner, building the relationship, showing her you care. What you're actually doing is flooding the market, massively increasing supply while her demand is still calibrated to scarcity. And basic economics tells you what happens next. When supply increases dramatically without a corresponding increase in demand, value crashes. Your value in her eyes. Not because you did something wrong, because you violated economic principles. You made yourself abundant when scarcity was what created value in the first place. Of course, mortals think giving more creates more attraction, as if markets reward oversupply, as if abundance creates desire. Thousands of years of economic history showing the opposite, and you still think flooding markets increases value. Let me show you how fast this crash happens. Week 1, you're seeing her twice a week, texting sporadically. You have plans with friends, hobbies, a life outside her. She's interested, pursuing, suggesting dates, initiating texts. Her demand is high because your supply is controlled. Week 2, things feel good. So you increase supply. You start texting her more, making yourself more available, canceling other plans to see her more often, responding immediately, being more emotionally open. You're now seeing her 3 or 4 times a week, texting throughout the day, essentially doubling your supply. Week 3, you notice a shift. She's less enthusiastic, takes longer to respond, seems less excited to see you. You're confused. I gave her more access, more time, more attention. Shouldn't that make her happier? No, because you flooded the market. You doubled supply without doubling demand. Economics says when supply doubles and demand stays constant, value crashes. Her perception of your value crashed. Not over months, over 1 week, the moment you increased supply. Week 4, she's pulling back significantly, making excuses not to see you, going hours without responding. The attraction is visibly dying. You panic, start giving even more texts, more availability, more effort. You're trying to save it by increasing supply further, which is like trying to stop a market crash by printing more currency. It accelerates the crash. Week 5, she's essentially checked out, says she needs space, needs to think, needs to slow down. The relationship that felt solid 3 weeks ago is now dying. And you're standing there thinking, what happened? What happened is you violated economic laws. You oversupplied, crashed your value, killed her demand, and attraction died at market crash speed. Not slowly, rapidly. Let me break this down with another economic principle. Inflation. When currency supply increases too rapidly, the currency loses value. This is inflation. More dollars in circulation, each dollar worth less. Same mechanism with attraction. When you increase your supply too rapidly, more availability, more attention, more effort, your value inflates. Not in the positive sense, in the economic sense. Each unit of your attention becomes worth less because there's so much of it available. Early relationship. 1 text from you is valuable. She gets maybe 3 texts from you per day. Each text is scarce, has weight, means something, She values them, responds with energy, reciprocates with her own investment. You increase supply. Now you're sending 10 texts per day. Each text is worth less. There's so much supply that individual texts have no scarcity, no weight. She starts valuing them less, responding with less energy, eventually ignoring some entirely. Not because she's cruel, because you inflated your currency, made it worthless through oversupply. Same with availability. Early on, your time is valuable because it's scarce. She gets to see you twice a week. She looks forward to it, plans for it, values it. Then you make yourself available constantly. Always free, always willing to cancel other things for her, always prioritizing her. Your time loses value, not because time itself changed, because abundance destroyed scarcity. This is the economic mechanism that kills attraction faster than you realize. Value is derived from scarcity. You destroy scarcity through oversupply. Without scarcity, there's no value. Without value, there's no demand. Without demand, there's no attraction. And this process doesn't take months. It takes weeks, sometimes days. I watched a man destroy a promising relationship in 8 days. 8 days. Met a woman. First date went well. Second date, she was clearly very interested. Texting him, initiating, suggesting they see each other again soon. He thought, this is going well. I should invest more. Day 3, he texted her good morning. Had a long text conversation throughout the day. Suggested dinner that night. She agreed. Dinner went well. He walked her home. Kissed her goodnight. She was smiling, interested. Day 4, he texted her good morning again. Another long conversation. He suggested seeing her again that weekend. She said yes. They texted throughout the day again. He was feeling great. She's so into me. This is solid. Day 5, same pattern. Good morning text. All day conversation. He suggested meeting up briefly after work. She agreed. They got drinks, 2 hours together. He thought he was building momentum. What he was doing was flooding supply. Day 6, he texted good morning. Her response came an hour later. Short. He didn't notice the shift. Continued texting throughout the day. Her responses got slower, shorter. By evening, she wasn't responding at all. He sent a, "You okay?" text. She responded the next morning. "Sorry, just busy." Day 7, he texted good morning. She didn't respond until afternoon. "Hey, sorry, work is crazy this week." He suggested getting together over the weekend. She said, "I'll let you know. Not sure about my schedule yet." He could feel her pulling back. So he increased supply further. Sent more texts, more check-ins, more suggestions to meet up, trying to close the distance he felt opening. Day 8, she sent the text. "Hey, I've been thinking. You're great, but I don't think I'm ready for something serious right now. I need to slow down." 8 days. He went from high interest to relationship death in 8 days. Because he oversupplied, flooded the market, crashed his value, killed her demand. He didn't do anything obviously wrong. Didn't cheat, didn't lie, didn't play games. He just gave too much, too fast, violated economic principles, and paid the price. Rapid attraction death. Most mortals watch this happen and think she changed her mind. She decided she didn't like him. She met someone else. She's flaky. She's unstable. All narratives that avoid the economic truth. He crashed the market by oversupplying. She didn't change. The market dynamics changed. He changed them. By giving too much. Here's another economic principle that explains the speed. Diminishing returns. In economics, diminishing returns means that as you add more input, each additional unit produces less output. First slice of pizza is amazing. Second slice is good. Third slice is okay. Fourth slice, you're not even hungry anymore. Each additional slice produces less satisfaction. Attraction works the same way. First date, high return. She's excited, engaged, interested. Second date, still good return, still novelty, still discovery. Third date, returns diminishing slightly. Fourth date, if it's too soon, returns diminish significantly. By the fifth date in 2 weeks, returns are near zero. Not because dates are bad, because frequency killed novelty. Oversupply created diminishing returns. Same with texts. First few texts, high engagement. She's interested in what you're saying, responding thoughtfully, reciprocating. 10th text of the day, returns are diminishing. She's responding, but with less energy. 15th text, returns are near zero. She's barely responding, not because she hates you, because you created diminishing returns through oversupply. And here's where it gets brutal. Diminishing returns don't just decrease value. At a certain point, they create negative returns, where additional input actually decreases total value. This is where oversupply doesn't just lower attraction, it actively kills it. You're texting her constantly. Early texts, positive return. She liked hearing from you. Middle texts, diminishing return. She's less excited, but still responsive. Late texts, negative return. She's starting to feel overwhelmed, suffocated, annoyed. You've crossed from diminishing returns into negative returns, where your texts now actively decrease attraction instead of just failing to increase it. This is why attraction dies faster than you realize, because you don't notice when you cross from positive returns to diminishing returns to negative returns. You think you're maintaining the same behavior, but the economic impact of each unit changes as total supply increases. By the time you realize attraction is dying, you're already in negative returns territory. And negative returns accelerate death exponentially. Let me show you another market mechanism: perceived value versus actual supply. In markets, perception of scarcity can create value even if actual scarcity doesn't exist. Diamonds aren't actually that rare, but perceived scarcity creates value. Same with attraction. Perceived scarcity creates attraction even if you're actually not that busy. Perceived abundance kills attraction even if you're actually high value. Early relationship, you create perceived scarcity. You don't respond immediately, not because you're playing games, because you actually have a life. You're not always available. She perceives scarcity. This creates value. This creates demand. Then you destroy perceived scarcity. You start responding immediately, always available, always making time, always prioritizing her. Even if you're actually busy, you're signaling abundance. Always on tap, always accessible. Her perception shifts from scarcity to abundance. And perceived abundance kills value just as effectively as actual abundance. This is the cruel irony. You could actually be high value, successful, busy, in demand. But if you signal abundance to her by being always available, always responsive, always accommodating, she perceives abundance. And perception drives her attraction, not reality. You killed perceived scarcity, therefore killed value, therefore killed demand, therefore killed attraction. And this perception shift happens fast. 1 week of oversupply can completely rewrite her perception. From he is busy and important, and I am lucky when I get his time, to he is always available and desperate for my attention. Perception flipped. Value crashed. Attraction died. All within days. I've observed this mechanism destroy attraction across every culture, every era, every relationship structure. Ancient courtship had built-in scarcity. Social rules, chaperones, limited access. Forced scarcity maintained value. Modern dating has zero forced scarcity, complete freedom of access. So men naturally oversupply, crash their own value, kill attraction rapidly, then wonder why relationships die so fast now. It's not that modern women are different. It's that modern access removes all scarcity barriers. So men flood markets without realizing it. Ancient men couldn't oversupply even if they wanted to. Social structures prevented it. Modern men oversupply by default. And market dynamics punish oversupply identically across time. Let me give you another economic framework. Opportunity cost. In economics, opportunity cost is what you give up by choosing one option over another. If she's spending time with you, she's not spending time doing something else. That something else is the opportunity cost. When your value is high, the opportunity cost of her time with you is worth it. She's giving up other options, other men, other activities, other pursuits, but you're worth more than those alternatives. She's making a good economic decision, trading lower value opportunities for higher value you. When your value crashes through oversupply, the opportunity cost calculation flips. Now those other options are worth more than you. Other men who haven't oversupplied. Other activities that provide novelty. Other pursuits that offer scarcity. She starts seeing you as a bad economic decision. Low value option, not worth the opportunity cost. This manifests as her pulling back, making excuses, being busy. She's not lying. She's making rational economic decisions based on value assessment. And once opportunity cost calculation flips against you, reversing it is nearly impossible, because she's now comparing you to alternatives in real time. And alternatives that haven't oversupplied will always win. You've locked yourself into a losing market position. Trying to compete by supplying even more just makes it worse, because more supply further lowers value further, making the opportunity cost calculation even worse against you. You're economically trapped. Can't decrease supply now because she interprets withdrawal as lack of interest. Can't increase supply because that further crashes value. You're stuck in a market position where any move makes it worse. This is the end stage of attraction death, when economic laws have backed you into a corner with no escape. And you arrived here not through malicious behavior, but through oversupply, through giving too much, too fast. So let me make this crystal clear. Her attraction dies faster than you realize, because attraction operates on inverse scarcity economics, where oversupply crashes value. Crashed value kills demand, and demand death kills attraction. And this process happens at market crash speed, not relationship decline speed. Days or weeks, not months or years. You're not watching slow relationship decay. You're watching economic collapse. And economic collapses are violent and fast. So what do you do with this information? First, understand that if you've been increasing investment and her attraction is dying, you're in an oversupply crisis. You need to reduce supply, not increase it. Pull back, become less available, less responsive, less accommodating. Not to play games, to restore market equilibrium, to recreate scarcity, to rebuild value. Then recognize that early relationship abundance is poison. The impulse to lock her down by being always available is the impulse that kills attraction. Maintain your life, your priorities, your scarcity. Not artificially. Actually, the moment you make her your only priority is the moment you destroy the scarcity that created her demand. And finally, accept that attraction is not a reward for good behavior. It's a response to market dynamics. You can do everything right. Be available, caring, attentive, invested, and kill attraction faster than being unavailable and distant. Because right behavior in relationship terms is wrong behavior in economic terms. And attraction follows economics, not morality. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The relationship advice that tells you to increase investment as the relationship develops is economically illiterate. It's telling you to flood the market as demand stabilizes, which guarantees value crash, which guarantees demand death, which guarantees attraction death. And it happens fast because market crashes are fast. This is what I've observed across thousands of years. Men who maintained scarcity maintained attraction. Men who oversupplied killed attraction. Same economic principles. Same outcomes. Ancient social structures forced scarcity maintenance. Modern freedom allows oversupply, so modern attraction dies faster. Not because people changed, because market conditions changed. You have a choice. You can keep following relationship advice that ignores economics. Keep increasing supply, thinking it increases attraction. Keep flooding markets and watching attraction die within weeks. Keep blaming her for changing when you change the economics. Or you can understand that attraction is a market. You are supply. She is demand. Value comes from scarcity. Demand follows value. An oversupply kills both. Maintain scarcity. Maintain value. Maintain demand. It's not game playing. It's economics. Her attraction doesn't die slowly over time. It dies rapidly when you flood the market. And you realize it way too late because you think you're doing everything right. I'll be watching.